So in today's video, I have 10 fragrances that I feel are appropriate to recommend for spring. These 10 that I have here are going to be predominantly blue fragrances, literally blue, like the juice is probably going to be blue for the most part. Some of them are just classified as blue fragrances due to their character makeup of the fragrance and the ingredients that are in them. And if you've been here for a while, ignore that I don't have my lights going. I can't seem to find my little clicker, but like I said, this list is going to be going over the 10 blue fragrances that I feel safe in recommending to you for spring. This is going to be a lot like the green fragrance video I did just the other day. Most of these 10 are affordable, they smell nice to me. If you've been here for a while, you're probably well aware that I enjoy my blue fragrances, so it wasn't very hard for me to kind of pull together 10 and kind of range them from 10 down to 1. But like I said, these are 10 for the springtime, and let's get into it. So number 10 on this list is going to be one that is probably going to be the one that's on this list is going to cost the most amount of money to pick up. This fragrance is why I highly recommend picking up decants. In the description of this video, you'll see where there's a link to a website called alphafragrances.com where you can go and pick up decants of fragrances like what I have here if you want to try them out. But number 10 goes to a fragrance that is blue, but you take the U and the E and you switch it and you get Bleu de Chanel. And here we have the 2018 release of the Bleu de Chanel Parfum. With top notes of citrus, lavender, and geranium, hard notes of cedarwood, and base notes of sandalwood. So for me, this is one of the highest quality blue fragrances that are on the market. The Parfum concentration in particular happens to be my favorite of the line in terms of the EDT and the EDP and the Parfum. They may at some point make an extra deep Parfum. That'd be kind of interesting. Maybe like a fragrance oil of Bleu de Chanel. If they do, Chanel, call me. But for me with this fragrance, I'll probably get 5 to 6 hours of performance really. It sits kind of close to the skin after a while, which is why I have it so back here on the list. Just because a lot of people really think that just because it's a blue fragrance, blue style fragrance, that it's not going to last long. This, in my opinion, does fall in that category, but the rest of this list don't necessarily. The Bleu de Chanel Parfum is a very high quality blue fragrance, which in my opinion is more tame and less loud and piercing than the other two. Even though a lot do prefer the EDP over the Parfum, this is just my pick. And again guys, that is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Number 9 on this list goes to one of my all-time favorites. It's not liked by all, some call it generic, some call it that it's just bland and generic, which the blue fragrances tend to kind of fall in that category. If you aren't aware of what a blue fragrance is, it's something that can be deemed as an aquatic fragrance. It has aquatic notes. On top of it being explained as something that has blue aquatic notes to it, it can also kind of categorize things that are generic, mass appealing fragrances as blue fragrances. They don't have to literally have anything in there that's like aquatic, your general aquatic citrus style fragrance. Some people define blue fragrances as simply just fragrances that are crowd appealing, which number 9 is one of those heavily. It is Dior Sauvage EDP. And number 9, Dior Sauvage is defined as a fresh, spicy kind of fragrance. So with this fragrance, you're gonna get a lot of ambroxan initially, which is gonna be something that's gonna make it real loud. Next, you're gonna get your citruses like your bergamot. And with that, you're gonna get some like peppery scents there, which makes it that spiciness to it. But now with all 3 of those combined, you get something that is almost kind of soapy, body wash like. Some people say that it smells kind of like a popsicle. You can kind of see that maybe with the sweetness from the bergamot or some of the middle or base notes. But you guys, this is gonna be a protection beast of a fragrance. Again, this was not quite as piercing and as loud as EDT, and to me it smells better than the Parfum. But guys, in terms of blue fragrances that aren't actually blue or don't have, you know, the aquatic notes, this is probably the king. There's only a couple other that would kind of, you know, battle with this one, but I wanted to make this list kind of revolving around blue aquatic style fragrances, hence why this is where it is. Now Bath & Body Works does have a fragrance that is very similar to this, but a bit more from the fruity side. I want to say it's Bath & Body Works Midnight. I have like a little 1 ounce thing of it somewhere around here, but the one that they have is nice and is significantly cheaper than this one is. And again, y'all, that was Dior Sauvage EDP. And next we're gonna go down to roughly around the $30, $20 range fragrances. We're gonna go with Ocean by Bath & Body Works. And guys, you might think you can guess how this one smells, but for me, on my nose personally, there's not the saltiness that I'll get from an ocean scent, and there's not that overly aquaticness to it. It is aquatic, but there is a bit of a fruitiness that kind of overweighing any sort of aquaticness that comes from this fragrance. And this one will also be good for going to the beach, or to a pool, or just a lounging around kind of day, honestly. This makes for a great after the shower fragrance as well. And again, you guys, that was Ocean by Bath & Body Works. And number 7 on this list goes to an even cheaper fragrance. It's gonna go to one that's still relatively new to my collection, but I just know for sure I'm gonna be wearing this quite a bit this summer. I'm definitely gonna wear this fragrance when I'm wearing a tank top, definitely gonna wear it when I'm at the beach, definitely gonna wear it when I'm by a pool. It's gonna be Bleu de Banderas. Blue Seduction by Antonio Banderas. But that would be a good name though. And here you see a big old blue bottle here with a dark blue juice that It's kind of making me thirsty a little bit, so I'm probably gonna go get some water here in a few minutes. Guys, I think it's real nice. It has a bit of the fruitiness in the opening. Like I said, it's like Manna Fresh, but you minus the star fruit. And guys, on this list, this is probably gonna be the best priced one out of all of them. There's a 200 ml for like 20 bucks for now, Fragrance Net. Super cheap. And again, y'all, that was BLEU Seduction by Antonio Banderas. And number 6 on this list goes to one of my all-time favorites. I definitely did not drop this right before I started filming this. Nope. It's one that I've grown to love and I've really enjoy, and it goes to L'Homme Ultime. And now we have L'Homme Ultime, the ultimate beast of a fragrance in terms of summer fragrances. This is one that I really enjoy, the ginger note that's in the opening. I have quite a few stories I could tell you all about this one. In terms of it being a real crowd pleaser, in terms of the girls loving this one kind of hits all the spots. This is one that I highly recommend picking up. Now, the only thing about this is that the performance kind of sucks. It doesn't last quite as long as you want it to. But from the L'Homme line, this is an EDP, unlike the original was an EDT, which normally means that there's some sort of performance enhancement or there's some sort of increase in projection or longevity, but you don't really get too much of that from this. But in my opinion, this is the best scent of the L'Homme line. And it's not really a blue fragrance, but it's kind of blue-gray, so I've counted it. It's my list. I can do what I want. And again, you guys, that was L'Homme Ultime. And for those of you who have made it halfway through this list, again, I'm challenging you to find one way that you can better yourself in terms of your grooming or your fragrance wearing, whether that be staying more hydrated, whether that be exercising more, eating better. What is one thing this month that you think you can work on, that you think that you can do better in? Whether that be grooming, eating better, exercise, and possibly even just healthier. If you haven't already, I want you to comment down below what that one thing is. But now to number 5. Number 5 goes to this guy. This Nautica little blue sail. This is a nice little, this is like the same size sprayer that I had of one of these when I was like 15, 16. Very much reminds me of being like 15. But it is a solid blue fragrance. The reason why it's here for me personally is because it kind of invokes that nostalgia of being youthful and younger. This reminds me of like sitting outside waiting for the bus to come. Let's go right here. What this really reminds me of is when I was growing up and I didn't want to go to school smelling like a cologne. I wanted something that smelled kind of like a body wash but had more projection. You get this. This is, like I said, a bit stronger than your normal fragrance coming off a body wash, but there is a bit there to it that gives a little more oomph than it would be if you had just your general body wash. I'm also really glad it has it back in my collection. I don't know what happened to my original bottle. I know that I tapped through it, but I had it for a while and it just kind of disappeared. And again, guys, that is Nautica Blue Sail, I believe. And number 4 on this list goes to one that a lot of you guys are gonna think is gonna be higher up on this list, but this is where it falls. It goes to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. Y'all, I'm like high-key excited about putting this one in the fridge on like some summer or spring day and then coming home from the beach and pulling this guy out and spraying it on. Have this glass nice and frosted. It's gonna be dope. And y'all, this is one of the most piercing, fruity, aquatic fragrances that I have in my collection. There's no denying that. It's gonna be one that's gonna perform. It projects, it's loud, it announces you when you walk in the room. It's not necessarily an office-friendly kind of fragrance, in my opinion. I mean, it might be a bit too loud for that, but this is gonna be a great one for vacation, going out to eat, to dinner. It's gonna be a really good one. And again, you guys, that was Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. And now we're into the meat and potatoes of this list, y'all. Number 3 goes to what could be easily be number 1, but for me personally, I've tried a few things since I initially got this that I like more in terms of blue fragrances. But there will be plenty of lists where this will be number 1. Number 3 on this list goes to Nautica Voyage. And here, guys, we have the ultimate blue cheapie. You can pretty much ask anybody that, especially Jeff Bezos or the Amazon guy, because it's their top selling fragrance. This is basically going to be your after shower fragrance. It's gonna have that green appleness to it. It's gonna not be quite like a body wash, maybe a little more piercing. It's gonna be a bit more like this is a cologne or a fragrance they're wearing on top of that. It does last a while. It has that soapiness to it that like after the initial opening, when it's on your skin, is gonna give you that soapiness, that clean quality to it. But honestly, I just do wish that the scent was a little bit better. But for what it is and the price you can get it for, it's perfect. But still, I would not have it as my number 1 recommendation for this list. And again, you guys, that was Nautica Voyage. And number 2 on this list goes to fragrance that I picked up at, I believe, the BLEU outlet when I was doing my rack store hunting. And I came across this, and this was a recommendation from one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of. It may have been TLTG Reviews. It was one that when I got out of the parking lot, it surprised the heck out of me, honestly. It was one of the first blind buys from a rack store that I'm like, was actually like wowed by. And it's one of the only ones that I still have that, you know, pretty heavily in my rotation. This along with like 3 others that I got from rack stores are ones that kind of make it in my weekly rotations. Anyways, that is ACQUA E by Salvatore Ferragamo. Now from my understanding, this smells a lot like the EDT of Bleu de Chanel, which I don't really agree to that. This doesn't have that piercingness to it. This is a much smoother of a fragrance than the EDT Bleu de Chanel in my opinion. The aquatic notes with the citrus in this made this a really, really nice fragrance for for me. Like I really enjoy wearing it out of the shower, and I really enjoy when I wear it. I didn't wear it too much in the winter just because I just didn't reach for it. I reached more for my tobacco, honey, you know, more rich fragrances than this. But during the spring and summer, this will for sure stay in my my gym bag. Just because last year this was still a pretty heavy fragrance that I would like reapply with. And you guys can see it's quite blue. And again, y'all, that was Aqua E by Salvatore Ferragamo. And before I get into number one, I want you to go ahead and comment down below in the comment section one goal that you have for this week. Doesn't have to be anything major, just one goal that you have for this week. Number one goes to Yves Saint Laurent YSL Eau Fraiche. And YSL Eau Fraiche, which happens to be, in my opinion, my favorite of this year so far. I wear it, I'm happy when I wear it. People around me that really enjoy this. It has that compliment factor that the other YSL Ys have, but for me, this one just is easier to wear. It doesn't have that overly sweet Invictus style, you know, DNA to it, at least in my nose. It doesn't have that overly, you know, blue, you know, sharpening quality that, say, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense has. This is just a very well-rounded fragrance. The juniper berry note that's in there makes it a little bit different, but this is definitely my highest recommendation for spring fragrance for anyone watching this. In terms of performance, the thing is very surprising to me. Like, I put this on when I went and worked out, and I thought that it kind of died off, but the person I was with said that she could still smell really strongly. I don't know if I went just a nausea to it, but after 2 hours, the thing was still apparently protecting very heavily off my skin. And then rolls into 4 to 5 hours and it's still doing the same thing. So off my skin, I get roughly about 6.5 hours out of this, which for me is a major win in terms of a fresh fragrance. And again, you guys, that was YSL Eau Fraiche. But guys, that's my 10 blue fragrances for spring. I might do another one for summer, but it all depends on what I pick up and if anything kind of gets added to it. It's possible, even though I know that we're closer to summer now than we are spring. We kind of just passed spring, but hey, it's definitely still far away from, you know, the summer weather here in South Georgia, so I'm still gonna kind of classify it as spring. I'm not sure what the first day of summer is, so I feel like that would be the direct day where it's like no longer spring, and then I'll stick to my summer list. And I do hope that you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you also had a great day. But guys, like I always say, keep it gent and love your scent, and I'll see you all tomorrow.